What if every professional just focused on 15 that could make or break their year by the end? Multiply that by the number of fee earners, add the automated things you do in marketing business development, and what a wonderful database that would be. Really start to break it down. Because as I mentioned before, it's gotten more challenging to get more profitable work. These are the latest statistics that came from PwC, their 2014 UK law firm survey. My apologies to all of those not in the law industry, but there's similar trends that the fee income per chargeable hour based on size of firm consistently is going down. So even at the top firms, what they're making per hour is going down. They're getting price pressure, alternative fee arrangements, the realization rates are plummeting. A lot of the work is being done in-house at the companies themselves, or they're being outsourced to small areas. You know, we see companies like American Express in the United States that have outsourced all of their call center functions to Bismarck, North Dakota. And for those of you who have been there, you don't need to go. There's nothing there except that call center. And they decrease their costs by 90% by doing that. I see people doing it in the UK, sending things to Leeds. I see Australia doing that to the Philippines. And law firms are doing it too. And so are the companies that work with law firms. It's driving the cost lower. But at the same time, the same survey, brand new data, all the hours are up. So they're making less per hour and having to work more hours. They're collecting less on the bills. So it becomes even more important to pick and choose because this inventory of hours and expertise is spoilage. Once it's gone, it's gone. And if I do work for someone at 200 pounds per hour, I can't do work for someone at 225. And we're seeing more and more of that kind of thing. So we're asking fee earners to focus on 15 people, each of those 15 people. And it's not a static list. As I mentioned before, some of the true competitors that are out there are, is the firm I work with, is it big enough? Is it good enough? Am I getting enough from them? I'm not going to switch firms to save 5 pounds per hour and to go through all the disruption of switching and moving my files. We're actually seeing that quite a bit, that if firms don't have a firm grip on their clients, once those lawyers or accountants or whatever move from firm to firm, they're actually more likely to go with them because switching is just so difficult. Is it good enough? Is it the best? They're not asking for the best. A lot of times they're actually for good enough to get the work done at the lowest possible cost. So we really need to focus even more on who those 15 people are. This is what we're seeing trend-wise. This is from actually last year, but the big surge of clients moving towards mid-sized firms as an alternative to using the very best firm, but they also always don't have need for the very best work. Some of it is just typical real estate, tax, transactional, and they don't need the best firm in London to do that. So there is starting to be this stratification of the types of work. It's not so much that they're stopping using large firms to use mid ones. They're just starting to split the matters up or split the deals into the appropriate size firm. So we're seeing more and more of this competition based on alternative ways to do the work at the lowest possible cost. So when you ask your fee earners, who are the 15 people that will make or break your year, just walk right into their office and ask him or her this, do they even know who they are? If you asked them who those people are, would they say banks, or would they say a bank, or would they hopefully say Jennifer Thomas at this bank? That's what we need to get down to, that finite granularity. Who are they? Why should they be calling this firm? And why aren't they calling it now? Start thinking small and using it one lawyer at a time. So if there are 15 people that we need to really concentrate on, I break them into 3 groups. It should be 5 clients, existing clients. It should be 5 prospects that look a lot like those clients, and we'll talk about why in just a moment. And then 5 referral sources, and there's 3 types of referral sources. CRM and interaction is excellent for doing work with all of these. Client team support, great prospecting, profiling potential clients, also tracking of referrals in and out. So you have the infrastructure to do this. But if we break it down to each individual fee earner and we have them bring these 15 people to training or to give updates or reports on those 15, once again, multiply it by the number of fee earners, and we have a great, great initiative for CRM. The number one, I think, is neglected, and when I do this exercise, especially with lawyers, they never write down clients. They always write down their wish list. Oh, I've always wanted to work with Apple. I've always wanted to work with HSBC. It becomes this ambition list. It's like me always wanting to slam dunk a basketball. It's not going to happen. No matter how much I want it and how much I think I could, if I just had the right opportunity, what's probably going to happen is I'm going to get more work from my existing clients and from prospects that look a lot like them. So clients are people that have a demonstrated willingness and ability to hire you for your expertise and pay your rates, because they've done it for years, over and over again. And every one of your competitors in this room would love to have that list. And you have it sitting in your financial system, and no one else can look at it. You should always start there. And we should always start plotting what our clients are. So if you look at this grid here, this is actually a very simple quadrant diagram, and anytime somebody comes up to speak or claims to be a consultant, you have to put a quadrant diagram up, right? So this one is free, though, so you don't have to pay for this one. I have two axes here. On the x-axis across is consistency. Over the last 3 years, I've taken my 2,000 clients, and this is an actual real graphic from a firm. Over to the left, not very often. Litigation, mergers, bankruptcy, situational incident-based types, transactions, or matters. And over to the right, they give us work all the time. Up and down on the y-axis, how many average hours per year? And if we start to track out our existing client base, let's say over 3 years, these two things. Over in the top right, those are our institutional clients. Multiple practice groups, they give it to us all the time, consistent, we keep them happy. However, they do try to hit us for discounts now, don't they? They know they have us. We can't afford to lose it. And what do you hear a lot of times from your partners? Volume discount. There is no such thing as a volume discount at a firm that charges by the hour, because those hours are now going away. So we can give them a discount, but there's a problem with that. Let's just take even numbers. 100 million pounds turnover per year. You have a profit margin of, let's say, 40%, all right? So you have fixed fees of people, real estate, and all the other expenses, about 60%. I have 40% profit margin. If I discount my rates 10%, how much of my profit have I lost? 25, not 10. And when lawyers think about this, accountants don't have this problem. When lawyers talk about this, they think, oh, we're only discounting 10%. You're discounting profits 25% because the other numbers don't change. So it's really important to hold the line as much as we can and deliver value with institutional clients. The ones on the left, those are the ones that we'd like to move over and happen more often. We did a piece of litigation. Now we want to do all their tax work or real estate or employment law, because those tend to be high realization clients because they'll pay whatever it takes because their work's so important. Everything below this line, automate it. Marketing lists, email, newsletters, whatever. We hold private events for these, maybe larger ones here. There are different tactics for each kind of client. And if we look at what we could do, first of all, what is the measure of success? How do we know we're being successful? Number one, as I mentioned before, realization. Happy clients pay full rate. Clients we are charging the right rate for pay full rate. If all your clients are paying 100%, raise your rates. If they're all paying 82%, get different clients or offer different kinds of work. It is a gauge for their perception of your value. And there's other things you can tweak, but I always start there. Also, looking at retention. How volatile is your top 10 client list? Are you constantly recycling it all the time? And if you're a business that does lots of big name, big ticket matters, that might be normal. But if you notice a spike in that volatility, you need to measure that. And then expansion. Are they using 2, 3, 4, 5 practice groups? Start looking at that at all your major clients, all those clients above the line. If we went back, but everybody above that line, it was less than 100 clients out of the 2,000. We can focus on that. The size of the bubbles are revenue, turnover, but the numbers in them are how many. How many thousand clients, hundreds of clients do we focus trying to win all the time? We spend a lot of time there. So what are some things that we can do? Always be a relationship broker. You have this CRM system, find out who your potential customers are of your client. If you have entrepreneurial clients and banks as clients, put them together. Get them to know each other. Avoid conflicts, of course, but if they can do business with each other and you can broker that relationship, they will use you all the time. Likewise, client entertainment. If you're going to take a bunch of your clients, let's say, to a Six Nations match or to a football match or whatever it might be, and you spend all this money, we never know where it goes, try this. Instead of having 6 partners go with 6 clients, have 3 partners invite 3 clients and have each one of those clients invite 2 of their customers. And in the meantime, what happens is if they do business together, you get all the credit. They introduce 6 new prospects to you and sit around for 3 hours telling them what a wonderful professional you are, and it doesn't cost you a dime extra than it did before. It's just a better way of doing that, and you're helping your clients. Go in and give competitive reviews. Don't just profile an interaction in your clients. Have an interaction, do industry research on their top 2 competitors, and then go in and talk to them once a quarter about that. Help them make money by saving money, avoiding litigation, whatever it might be. That's how we get more clients. When we talk about prospects, because we always look at the other firms out there and they have better clients than ours. We want those clients. I had times when I worked at my law firm where I had a newspaper sitting on my chair and a note on it saying, why didn't we get this client? It's like, because we don't know anybody there. That's why we have some work to do. But always people want more and more of the prospects. But how do we measure success with that? Well, first of all, these prospects should look almost identical to your existing clients. Because if you're looking at work you've never done before, for types of businesses you've never worked with before, not only is your brand not out there, but it really is not your sweet spot. So if you have a certain profile, now it doesn't mean that if I work for banks, I got to go hit all the other banks. But is it ones with lots of employees, international locations, high worker compensation claims, unionization issues, whatever, those business issues, find other companies with those similar business issues. And it's a nice sweet spot for you. And you also need to have a very compelling argument for why they should currently fire their current firm. You are in effect going in there and saying, I want you to stop using the firm you've used for 20 years, and here's why. And it's our role as coaches to give them those reasons why, the information they need, or a compelling event to do it. To get more prospects, focus on those 5. Find new work. If they're expanding into new cities, introducing new product lines, that's a great way to do it. Introduce predictability with pricing guarantees, flat feeing, alternative fee arrangements. Maybe not the whole thing, but say, look, we'll flat fee all of our e-discovery rates. This piece of the work we guarantee, and that might be just enough to move them. We're trying to reduce the risk of switching and increase the risk of not switching by providing them with the information they need. Referral sources, 5 of these. So first of all, 2 of them are non-lawyers. These are the people you work with on a regular basis. Accountants, brokers, insurance, financiers, even the media. Ones that every time you do a deal or a matter, they're kind of circling around, and then they just disappear until the next time we need them. There's no reason for us to do that. We can use social media to keep in touch. We can help do joint business development. I've seen a firm that they did at halftime of a match. They had clients, we had clients. At halftime, we switched. They took ours, we took theirs. We had that existing relationship, but we did that all the time, not 1 extra minute of time, not 1 extra Finnegan. Okay? So, what we're looking for here is establishing a network, a quid pro quo. Fellow lawyers, yet another set of referral sources. Okay? These are ones that send things to you because of conflicts or they don't have the ability to give those services. However, remember, they are competitors. Don't rely on this too much. We see this a lot when people target referral sources. This is comfortable. We're talking to other lawyers or talking to other professionals like me. But are they sending us the crumbs or is it a true relationship? And we should be tracking this in interaction. And then finally, a referral source that is an old colleague I went to school with. I went to business school. I went to become a chartered accountant with. I went to become a law school. Now, This is somebody that we're not just going out there to go out and have the pub and have a pint with all the time. This is someone that's a colleague. Are they in the industry? Are they in-house counsel? Do they work for the government? Are they in a corporation that can help that? Okay. So this list becomes very small, and it becomes a list of people, not industries, not companies, people. It needs to look something like this. Every one of your professionals should have a list that looks like that, and they should know these people by name. Who the clients are, prospects, and these referral sources, and where. That's a very simple list. I snuck Jane Tarnoff in there too, by the way, see if anybody knows. But it's not static, because what will happen is Jaguar won't expand. They're not a key client. They did one matter with us once, and they'll never do it again. Same thing with prospects. I've been chasing this firm forever. It's never going to happen. It needs to get replaced. And we're constantly refreshing this all the time. And if we just keep working with our lawyers and our professionals and our accountants and whoever it might be on keeping this list very, very small, they're able to manage it. And then also we're able to coach them of when our efforts are better than others. So keep in mind the activities that we do, I consider a DI factor, discipline and intensity. Discipline means how often I do it. Intensity means how good it is per hour, how effective is it. Now, when I have thousands of prospects, I can't do all the client visits. I can't drag them all to the sporting events. Okay? I can do that, I can automate those things. Right? That's low intensity, high discipline, send out daily alerts to everybody, but I really focus on that upper right quadrant, or maybe even the upper left quadrant of the things over on this side. Client visits, client entertainment, etc. Different activities for different types of prospects, clients, and referral sources. And don't forget your role as a coach. I won't go into detail on this here, but I can talk to anybody afterwards about that. We do a lot of work with firms with coaching, stressing fundamentals and practice, planning for situations you know are going to happen, your lawyers are going to run into, doing simulations for your accountants and architects. What about client situations? What makes them uncomfortable? Practice it, reflect upon it, and demand continuous improvement. That's what you as coaches should be doing. It's what you should be asking your practice group leaders, sector area leaders, office leaders to be doing with their peers as well. So this would be a great metric to prove if this is effective or not. By taking this approach, fee earner by fee earner, could we grow our existing clients' revenue by 10%, my top 5? Can you imagine what a good day that would be? Or get one prospect to convert into a client and make sure it's at 92% of our full realization rate. Get one matter from a referral source, each type, that's 3, all right? Realization rate of our top clients by 5% because we're selling value, and coaching practice to keep reinforce that. If you did these things with each one of those 15, they would be carrying you around and singing songs about you, all right? And the data cleanup, that'll be great. This will allow you to do anything you want, and it's just 15 people. Thank you very much.